Hi guys, it's Ruthie with the Popo Backyard Farm. I'm outside, just kind of running through my yard, looking at things here, and wanted to talk to you guys about homesteading and survival and being a Christian and all that stuff. My attitude about it is this. Okay, number one, whenever you make a plan, you should always bring God into it, because if not, you know, you probably could be barking up the wrong tree, and time is precious. So I'll put that on the top of the cake, so to speak. But I never believe it's smart to walk around in fear. We should always have courage and be strong. And that doesn't mean we do stupid things, but that means we just don't walk in fear. But here's my thoughts on storing up food and all that kind of thing. I think all of us as responsible adults should live to a degree like our grandparents. We should have enough for today and a little extra for the future. Now, your little extra could be a lot of different ways depending on your family and your lifestyle. But to go out and feel like I've got to save all this food because the world's coming to an end, I think as a Christian, it kind of troubles me a little bit sometimes, because first of all, I look at it like this. If, like me, I believe God and the rapture of the church is coming. I mean, if you don't know what that is, go look that up and check it out, because some people have never heard of that. And I believe that if you're going to prepare, you better prepare yourself spiritually and get close to the Lord so you can hear his voice, so he can tell you what to do. Because you might be saving up food and doing all this stuff, and the Lord might say, you're going to have to move. You shouldn't be living there anymore. I'm calling you to Africa. Okay, one good reason why you should always try to keep yourself financially clean, not have a lot of bills, because you never know where God might put you. But God's even bigger than that stuff, so, but try to do your best, okay? God is a father. He just wants us to do our best. So, all right, so, but say you are living in fear and you're hiding water and doing all this stuff. If we had a crisis, there will be mobs of people coming to your house to get your food, to get your stuff. And we always want to have enough for an emergency, because like if the power goes out, we want to have a little extra food, or your refrigerator breaks down, you want to make sure you have some canned goods and things like that. But to sit there and take all your money and put it in a bunch of food that you have stored up for what if, things that your family probably would never want to eat, like, like me, excuse me, coughing. I'm a city girl, okay? So grinding my own grain and all that stuff. I mean, I've turned into a country girl, but at this point in my life, if all of a sudden I decided to take up stuff like that, that'd be a lot, I was very lucky because my husband was doing this stuff for 50 years since he was a kid. Some of the bright ideas that I had, like, let's go cook a rooster. He'd say, that's going to be tough. We have Mennonite friends in the area. And I said to her one day, all excited, because it was all exciting to live the homesteading life. I said, what about this and that? And she said, we go to the store and buy our chicken on sale. So, because I live, there's Mennonites and Amish here. And I'm not saying it's wrong to live that way if you enjoy it and it's fun and it's for your family. But to live in fear and feel that that's the way to go, God's going to take care of you. If you prepare yourself spiritually, meaning you read the Bible, that Bible like back of your hand, open the book, shut the book, somebody tells you a bunch of crazy stuff, you've been studying the original so long that you hear it and you're like, okay, because as a Christian, and I accepted Christ as my personal savior when I was 5, so sometimes people have some really weird things that they've said to me, and, I just listen politely, and, if they're open, I may say, well, I don't know, because what about this over here in the Bible? But what happens is, that's how people get themselves in these messes, because They always rely on other people. They never read and study the Bible for themselves. People can tell them anything and they'll believe it. I mean, even me, if you're hearing things from me, you better look it up and check it out in the Bible, because, you know, things, I'm this morning air. Check it out in the Bible to make sure it's so, because that's, you know, because what if I have this thought today and then tomorrow I find a new Bible verse? It's like, well, that's not what it says at all, you know. But I mean, usually there's basic things like Jesus is God, you know, Jesus died for our sins, you know. But there's little things that maybe they don't matter as much, you know. There's some questions that people have. I guess I'll bring this up because it's on my mind, but like divorce. I got a divorce, and my husband did commit adultery, but honestly, I got divorced when I was 20. My first husband beat the tar out of me, and at that point, I thought, well, gee, I don't know, the Bible doesn't say you get a divorce for that. So I'm searching the Bible. You know, he's beating the tar out of me, throwing me downstairs. I lost a baby and everything else. I was 20 years old. My parents were praying and everybody's hoping you know, and then I heard it. Jesus said, except for the hardening of the heart, you can't get, you know, divorced. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and too bad for you. So there are some people in life that they don't care. They will take you, use you, treat you like a rag, and God doesn't expect us to live like that. He calls us to peace. He's the Father. His ways are not our ways. And just because you hear something, you know, this is where you work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. People that have a good marriage, they may never understand that. But if you've had somebody beating the crap out of you or cheating on you every day, like my second husband, and now I'm on my third one, and I was like feeling like a loser, and I was like, and so I prayed about it, and the Lord goes, Ruthie, if I have to raise up 10 husbands for you to live for God. Now, I'm not saying that my husband's, you know, responsible for me to live for God, but obviously I can't live with somebody that's cheating on me every day, and I can't live with somebody that's abusing me. You know, a lot of times Christians, they get themselves in these situations because they are Christians, and sometimes the world is smarter than the regular people at times, because they're like, that's just stupid and crazy, and it is, and Jesus thought that way too. It's like, he didn't expect you to live like he doesn't want you to be ignorant and dumb, you know, but that's where you grow up, and sometimes you can be young, and experience helps. When I worked at a church, I used to be a church secretary, once in a while somebody would be young and maybe their parents were Christians for years, and I would say to them, I'd say, you know what, is your mom and dad a Christian? You know, I know they've been going to this church for a while. I said, they know you. I said, they're the best people to talk to because they know your situation and they know you. And so if they have godly parents, of course, always, you know, those are the people that they should get advice from. So, and maybe I'm having like a little sisterly talk with you guys. I'm saying, listen, there's all this chaos and all this stuff. You can sit there and walk in fear or say, you know, I'm just going to trust God. I'm going to pray. He's going to help walk me through it one day at a time. And I'm not going to sit there and start storing up like the Y2K, tons of water and all this stuff. Now, if you pray and God tells you, that's another whole thing. But just to do it out of fear, you know, God doesn't bless fear. You have to walk in faith. And, I mean, my attitude is if I have a bunch of stuff and people come at my door, it's like, well, I guess I'm going to have to share because, you know, but I don't have a bunch of stuff. But if I did, you know, it's like, you know, one extra meal is not going to make a lot of difference. And there are things like the widow where during famine, God supplied her needs. She filled those oil jars, if you read about that. And I don't know if you ever heard the story of King Ahab or when Jezebel and all that, but during one of these famines, I think it was Elijah, he had meat and stuff, and where do you think he got that meat? Probably God sent a bird to fly right into King Ahab's house, takes the meat off their table and brought it to Elijah, probably. Now that's just a thought, that's not any biblical truth, but you know, that's just saying that God takes care of his own. He will open up doors, make manna fall from heaven if he has to. So that's the main thing. In these trying times, don't get caught in the fear, get caught in the faith, study the Bible, pray, let God speak to you and tell you what to do. And people say to me, how do I know when God's speaking to me and all that stuff? Well, it's like anything else. If you never talk to him, you don't really know. And after a while, just a look from somebody and you know what they're thinking. So spend your time, get put on your prayer bones. Pray for everybody. I pray for you guys. Please pray for me. Okay, guys, so with that, that's my thought on homesteading. I do wonder, I guess myself, it's like, why are people storing up all their food? The only thing I can think of is all the couponers and survivalists and all these people. And I'm not picking on them for doing that, because that's not always a bad thing. It's just, if they're doing it in faith and that's what they feel they're supposed to do, that's a good thing. But I think that, hey, if the rapture comes, everybody that's left behind, they'll have all those couponers' houses to get food from, all those survivalist places. So God's storing up food for them, possibly. So, he's putting that in people's hearts. And some people that think they may be here, they might be surprised. They're like, gee, I was saving all that food. The Lord said, that's okay. I got someone's going to take that. So, but the main thing is to, do what God's telling you to do and get to know him better and better every day. So with that, guys, remember, big or small, you too could be a backyard farm. God bless.